4. And if he's if I'm trying to be smart, I can go, hey, well, maybe I can get some Banshees and I can go Viking Banshee. And I can still get some control, still screw with them a little bit. Still, I have to worry about Thors, I have to worry about some good Raven control. I just am not a fan of those two-basing tank stuff. So, let us divine. Let us see here. What are some other questions that are here today? Let's take this question by Sith without an S. Mr. Sandman! Oh yeah, naming myself random things. Do you think rather than going for Vikings for air control, just going Thors to kill enemy Vikings using barracks for sight would be just as viable and probably cost less? Now this is something that I want to expand upon a little bit before I answer. So this potential idea is, okay, I have my Thors there, and I'm getting tanks and I'm using my barracks for vision range. Because if you're going tank or if you're going Thor Marauder, you obviously don't need the barracks present in the battle at all because you just walk up to the things. Marauders can't shoot farther than they can see. So the issue I have with that is that your army now is super immobile. Thors and tanks, oh my god, they like bump into each other and they clog and the tanks need a siege and the Thors, though awesome, are like so slow and I mean, one thing that's nice about Tank Viking is that your tanks, so they're inching slow. The Vikings are very dynamic and they can check out and scout ahead for what the best positioning is so you can rush your tanks up to there. So I'm not a big fan of Thor tank either. I played around with that a lot and you just feel very unsafe and it feels very scary to move out. Part of the reason why players are loving Vikings so much is because it makes you feel strong. If the tanks are the scare unit and they're way down there, then I just stay in the air and kill off your Vikings. Very, very easy. It's understandable why it's popular, but I still think that there are other things that are reasonable. Here's a question. Yeah. This is an interesting question. No one's actually asked me this before. It's by Pants. The question is, what keyboard and mouse do you use when playing Starcraft? So I have my crappy Dell keyboard that I use. I actually don't purchase any high-end keyboards just because the cheap ones have light keys. If for some reason you're on a losing streak and the keyboard accidentally goes through a knee or something like that, you just buy another one, no problem. Or if you're like me and you just drop your backpack down a staircase and it breaks, it's easy to replace. And also, I use a Razer Diamondback for my mouse and a Razer Exact Mat for my pad. I've used Razer products since 2004 or 5. I'm a big believer in them. So yes, let us take... how long have we been doing this recording? We've been doing it, right on time, 45 minutes. We will take just one more question. Oh, here is a good old money question from Thor710. Do you think that one Raven with point defense drone would make your Vikings that much stronger? How do you think this will affect Terran vs. Terran matchups? Now, if there's one matchup where point defense drone is a real game changer, it is Terran vs. Terran. Holy crap. Kills Marauders, kills the air things from the Thor, kills Viking shots. I mean, it just does so much good work. Now, but I need you to think about the situation where you are going Vikings. Now, if we're both going mass Vikings, I'm not going to lie. If for some reason a Raven magically appeared, I may have been saying Banshees this whole time. The question was one Raven with point defense drone. I always say Banshees instead of Raven. So let me try this all again. Let's pretend we are both going mass Viking. We're going crazy mass Viking, and you see a battle, and you think, yeah, point defense drone would really turn the tides there. There's so much wrong with the way that statement came about. Because I'm not going to lie, if there's a huge Viking battle and you happened to have a Raven there with enough energy for point defense drone, yeah, that would have helped. But Ravens cost a lot of gas, and that's one starport that's making a tech lab instead of a reactor, and that's one starport that's not making Vikings. So what happens then? And this is a little bit more of the fragility element, a part of the reason why players still are sticking to this Vikings and not diverging onto other things. This is what happens. Let's say you're playing against Morrow. Morrow has his 2 starports, one with reactor, one just naked. And you have your 2 starports, one reactor, one just naked. You're like even in Vikings. And you say, haha, I'm going to get point defense drone. You get a tech lab, Morrow gets a reactor. He keeps making Vikings. You start producing a Raven. The Raven finishes, then you go back to Viking production. Had to cut a Viking or 2 in there because Raven's 200 gas, really expensive, eats into your Viking counts. It's like 2 less Vikings you get. Anyways. And then after you're done, you have to wait a little while. And then so suddenly Morrow comes out and he has like 24 Vikings. And you have like 15 or so Vikings and 1 Raven. So you get in a battle, you throw down a point defense drone, and he just backs up. Sure, he can even afford to lose 2, 3, 4, 5 Vikings in the retreat, because in the end, you're going to have 15 Vikings, he's going to have 20, and you're going to have this useless Raven. Which is why it's a little bit difficult. If for some reason you had forced the issue, if you were, for instance, at a battle at the Natural, or Mar really needed a battle there, point defense drone is going to be a lot more useful. So you got to be very careful with the spots that you pick. For those times they're most useful would be, in slightly smaller skirmishes where the point defense drone has 200 energy, kind of medium-ish. All of a sudden, everything fires. The point defense drone eats up all the shot before there's any time to retreat. And all that good jazz. So, moral of the story, branch away from tank Viking, including you, Morrow. I know you like doing it. I know you're good at it, but stop it. And yeah, that's going to wrap up the daily for today. Going to do a little bit of jergy action tomorrow because I miss my jergy friends. And of course, show up to the launch party, watch the King of the Beta, all the good players. And of course, I'll be casting the round of 8 games, the round robin games, starting 7 p.m. Sunday and running through Friday. 7 p.m. every single day until we've determined the top 4. Bam! And hope you show up to the launch party. Thanks so much again, and I will see you later. Bye, bye, bye.